All right, my friends, thank you guys for coming down again. I say it every single weekend, and I mean it. Be the change, and that is every single one of you guys. Freezing for freedom every Saturday, so massive round of applause to you guys. Woo! Yeah! Let's make a huge amount of noise for every single protest happening today around the world. Woo! Yeah, thank you! Yes! My friends, do you accept the new abnormal? Louder, do you accept the new abnormal? Will you ever accept the new abnormal? Let's let Jason Kenny know loud and clear what we think. No new normal. No new normal. No new normal. No new normal. All right, thank you guys. You guys are brave, brave, brave souls. Let's also give a massive round of applause to the online protest happening right now. Woo! Thank you guys. Yeah, baby. Share this link. Share, 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 share. Get this link out to everybody, guys. It is so crucial. Thank you guys for joining us every Saturday. All right, guys, who wants to hear the angry Albertan sing "Oh Canada"? Yeah. Woo! Yeah, baby. Come on down, Josh.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
See what happens every time I touch it?
Oh, there we go. No, it's all good, buddy. All right, the louder you are, the better I sound. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you. I guess I'm first, all right? You're first, baby. I'd like to introduce the Angry Albertan. Yeah! Hi, I'm the Angry Albertan. Hello, freedom fighters! So we have been in phase 1 of reopening for a week now. Does anybody feel any freer? Because I sure don't. We still can't socialize, can't have a normal church service. People in care homes are still locked in the hole. Huge numbers of people are more terrified than ever, too scared to resume any sense of normalcy. And months of reopening await us. Today, we have a whopping 371 COVID patients in hospital. 371. Like, this is the middle of flu season. We have 300, because colds and flus are gone. We have 371 COVID patients in hospital. I mean, like, we should be celebrating. I mean, we should have a giant citywide block party for 371 patients. But instead you're locked down. Okay, but I digress. Okay, we have 66 people in intensive care, which is less than half of what we had just, a couple months ago? I mean, we should be celebrating. We should be free as birds. We have over 8,000 hospital beds in total and over 800 ICU beds. I said we have 66 COVID patients in ICU, 800 ICU beds. Our R value is 0.87. Does anybody recall Jason Kenney saying that if we could just get that number below 1, you can have your lives back? Who remembers that? Yeah, it's 0.87. I thought Kenny said we'd get back to our lives when the R value was less than 1. Okay, so I'll repeat myself. These are the things I would rather be discussing here today. But unfortunately, we must discuss something completely unrelated entirely. The angry Albertan and the organizing team of this protest have zero involvement with the upcoming Jericho March event on February 20th, led by Pastor Art Pulaski and Brad Kerrigan. Our team was never consulted in the planning of this event, nor has our participation been requested. When the event was announced, Pastor Art encouraged people to bring torches. The event was to be held later in the day so that the Jericho March portion of the event would be in darkness and thus justify the torches. A poster was released by Brad Kerrigan's Freedom Unity Alliance. This poster featured an edited image of the Alberta Legislature with a large group of torch-bearing marchers curving around it. Almost immediately, the anti-racist Twitter pages and City News recognized the source of the image edited into the photo of the legislature. The torchbearers were, in fact, the Tiki Torch marchers from Charlottesville, North Carolina, an event that one day was a Ku Klux Klan march and the next day a Trump Patriot rally. An event where a panic ensued and a woman was tragically run over and killed by a car. The event was widely portrayed in the media as a white supremacist rally, probably with cause. When I search for that image on Google, it is actually labeled as a photo from a white supremacist march. To use this image to market an anti-lockdown protest is beyond the pale and reprehensible. Rather than issue a retraction and apologize, the poster was merely modified. The new poster featured one torchbearer standing in front of the legislature, which is obscured by smoke. Quite menacing and extremely divisive, and certainly not the imagery that we want to be associated with. And also, just weeks after what happened in Washington, D.C., tensions are already quite high. One of the speakers on the list at this event is Kevin J Johnston. He has garnered quite a bit of attention with his bogus lawsuits against hair salons and small businesses that refuse his mask exemption. He regularly passes out questionable legal advice and is continuously targeted by the police for his stunts. He rose to fame a few years ago for labeling an Ontario restaurant a jihadi training camp and made some extremely disturbing comments publicly about Muslims in general that will not be repeated here. He was sued for this and ordered to pay $2.5 million to the plaintiff. We recognize that Kevin has the right to free expression, and while he possesses that right, we reserve the right to not be associated with this type of messaging and reputation. Thank you. That makes me feel better about delivering this speech. This is not a speech I want to give. Obviously, all of this and more has led to major pushback against this upcoming protest. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and many other anti-racist, Indigenous, and LGBTQ groups are planning to counter-protest this event. They have been calling in complaints to the City of Edmonton, the Edmonton Police Service, and the provincial government. There you go. They have been calling in complaints to the City of Edmonton, the EPS, and the provincial government. They expect to have at least 200 counter-protesters at the event. They will be filming everyone in attendance and trying to identify as many people as possible. Anyone identified at that rally will be labeled a white supremacist, and their photos and information will be released online. The first time I was doxxed by Antifa, it was for merely attending and being present at Art Pulaski's Stand and Roar protest. The portrayal of this event as a white supremacist event, whether correct or not, is creating not only a potentially dangerous situation, but a feedback loop of outrage. Antifa's presence is inciting the likes of Pat King and others who quite enjoy stirring up the tension between these groups. Several groups on both sides of the spectrum plan on showing up either for protection or to deliberately stir the pot. Combine this with tiki torches, and as David Dixon points out, tiki torches are essentially Molotov cocktails on a stick. You combine that with icy ground, flammable winter clothing, and short tempers, and the possibility of a very serious situation is quite high. Naturally, both the sheriffs and the EPS are very concerned. This is not the message we are willing to be associated with. We have worked very hard to make this protest a place that is welcoming to all people. People of all races, creeds, orientations are welcome at our protest. It is my belief that beating this COVID-19 insanity will not be achieved by only Christians or any single group. We all must stand as one people. Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Sikhs, Jews, Asians, Hispanics, transgender people, gay people, all men and women must unite as one for the sake of liberty for all. Anyone that stands for liberty is welcome to stand with us. This welcoming atmosphere is fostered by our commitment to keep speeches 100% on the topic of ending this COVID-19 insanity. Of course, once word trickled out that we were not interested in supporting this event, they moved up the time. So now they will be wandering around with torches in the middle of the afternoon. Antifa and the counter-protesters are planning on showing up at 2 p.m. or 2:30. We had hoped we would be able to hold our usual rally at our usual time, but in the interest of safety, we are canceling our event. We will be doing a live stream question and answer on the Facebook page with David and Karen Dixon and myself and anybody else who wants to participate, instead for those who are interested. People are free to attend any event of their choosing, but our team highly recommends staying away from this upcoming February 20th event. Please do not take your children, and if you do attend, please use great caution. We are praying that this event goes off without a hitch, just like their last event did. People wonder why we refuse to associate with other groups. This is your answer. Too many groups, too many agendas, the message gets lost in all the noise, and lives get ruined for nothing. We are not here to cure every social ill in the country. We are here to end the COVID-19 insanity now! Thank you for your patience, and with that, we'll bring up someone more entertaining. Welcome Kyle to the stage.
That's not true. Josh is 100% more entertaining. Massive round of applause for the angry Albertan. Woo! Thank you, my friend, for everything you do, buddy. It's so appreciated, man. Thank you. My friends, do you accept the lockdown? Louder, do you accept the lockdown? Will Canada be locked down again? Will your families be locked down again? Will our economy be destroyed? That's right, my friends. That building over there, the people that work there, is that your employees? Are you the boss? Is this your country? Let's let them know loud and clear. End the lockdown! End the lockdown! End the lockdown! End the lockdown! All right, thank you guys. Let's invite up Brandy. Come on down, Brandy. Huge round of applause for Brandy. Come on down, Brandy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hey, freedom fighters! I normally stand up here and speak about small business, but today I am not only honored, but humbled to speak on behalf of a friend who works with the general homeless population. It is hard to have a voice when you need to keep your job, so today I will be their voice. When officials and politicians speak of protecting the vulnerable, I often wonder who they are speaking of. Why are they only concerned with protecting grandma? What about a vulnerable sector of people who don't have a voice at the best of times, let alone during a global pandemic? This letter talks about how individuals are being treated in various shelters in the city. That includes both shelters for women leaving domestic violence situations and day and overnight shelters for the homeless. When some people think about their time at home during isolation and quarantine, they think about learning a new skill, becoming further engrossed in a hobby, or just binge watching hours of Netflix while curled up on the couch with their dog. When I think about quarantine, I think about the young single mother that left a situation that became violent when her partner got laid off from his job due to COVID. Sorry. I think about how she and many other women and mothers are treated in these emergency and traumatic situations. The shelters operate under AHS guidelines, which means everyone is safe there. Safe from COVID, that is. These women and children are not allowed to leave their rooms. They are confined to them 24 hours a day. There is no outside time allowed, and all meals will be brought to their rooms. The only time anyone is allowed to leave the room is to use the washroom. A mask must be worn while outside of the room, and a staff member must be alerted so that the entire bathroom can be sanitized after each and every use. The women and mothers that need to turn to these facilities in their times of need are treated more like prisoners than people. We know social isolation is damaging, and it is being forced upon women who have no other options for help. I am a community support worker in the inner city, working with different agencies that provide addiction and mental health services and day and overnight shelters. These agencies are under rigorous AHS oversight and auditing. The inspectors are on site regularly to ensure all guideline standards are being met and followed by staff. While for most of us here today, AHS has provided exemptions in the mask bylaw, they don't allow exemptions for the people in our society that are the most marginalized. There is a zero tolerance policy in these sites, and everyone must be masked at all times unless eating or sleeping. We have heard countless reports of the awful ways in which long-term care residents are treated, and we have now just started to hear about the substandard ways those who find themselves in the detainment centers are being treated. But what we have not heard anything about is how the people I see every day, the most vulnerable and voiceless people in these emergency shelters, are being treated. During intake, clients are told that the mask policy is a zero tolerance, and they will be discharged if they don't wear it. Security guards and staff members are constantly reminding clients by yelling, "Mask up," anytime they see someone with them not covering both their nose and mouth. The sometimes rude reminders are nothing in comparison to the withholding and withdrawal of services when compliance is not met. I have seen these clients be refused every service that is available to them until they put a mask on. Some of these services include, and please keep in mind, this is not a complete list, denied access to detox services, including medical detox and stabilization. denied access to safe consumption sites and supplies, denied access to housing workers, denied receiving clothing, and that includes winter clothes, even during this extreme cold weather. Denied food. No food will be given at all unless a mask is worn. On a daily basis, this is where a lot of clients do attempt to push back, as they yell at how ridiculous it is when they are about to take it off to eat the food. Denied medical care, including receiving their meds, dressing changes, or even just being able to speak with a nurse or medic about a concern. Now, let me be absolutely clear. Clients are denied food, clothing, and medications. Basic needs are not being met without compliance. This is abuse. On the topic of medical care, some clients are also required to undergo mandatory COVID screenings. These screenings consist of taking their temperature, blood pressure, and oxygen levels twice a day, every day. If they are non-compliant, they will be denied food or medications. I have seen paramedics and nurses deny services and care to people until they put a mask on and wear it properly. One person fell and hit their head, becoming unresponsive. When paramedics arrived, they tried for several minutes to get the person to comply with putting a mask on before providing any critical care. Every attempt the paramedics made to put the mask on the individual was thwarted by the person either preventing it from being put on their face or by taking it off once on. What disturbs me about this is that we know it is a cycle. Once the group of people that are most reliant on the government are compliant, then the others will follow suit. Since my job is to enforce mask wearing to the clients, I will be okay going places where others force me to wear a mask. It starts at the bottom. We have heard lots of great speakers over the months talk about the upcoming forced vaccines. This is all in preparation for that. The compliance must start at the bottom and work its way up. While I don't believe that most employers are directing their staff to outright withhold care, this is the result of what fear causes. People have become afraid of other people, afraid to be close to them and to touch them. So while an employer may not have told employees to force mask compliance with the refusal of services, this is what happens when fear is created. The staff are too scared to be near anyone, let alone touch them, without layers of PPE and constant hand sanitizer use. When we arrive for work, we must submit to a temperature check done by a security guard with a gun aimed at the head. We must fill out a COVID questionnaire and use hand sanitizer. When we get downstairs to the staff area, we must use hand sanitizer again. There is a staff member there to ensure everyone is compliant. Everyone must wear full PPE of masks and face shields at all times. The days are long and very stressful. There are so many overdoses, often back to back. It is so difficult to build relationships and trust while covered in PPE that blocks the ability to hear people properly and take proper care of the vulnerable. The price of COVID safety is abuse of the abused. Every day I see homeless people in utter despair. Please tell me, AHS, how can you call this care? Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's give a massive round of applause for Brandy. Thank you, Brandy. Wow, that was so powerful. My friends, we all have someone out there we know who's isolated and suffering. Let's give a round of applause and our support to all those out who are isolated and suffering right now. Let's give them our support. Woo! I'll tell you just a 1-minute story here. Something that touches home for me. My wife right now, her grandmother, since this horrible COVID event started, this grandmother has not seen her family since the spring. Her family can only be visiting her through windows. She's sitting in her room without watching TV. She's just alone, sitting there, waiting for people to come visit, and no one's coming. It's horrible. It's disgusting. So let's give a round of applause, and let's give our support to everybody who feels this way, everybody who's isolated right now. We're here for you. We will never let you down. Will we fight for everybody? Will we fight for the isolated? Will we fight for everybody who's losing everything right now? That's right, my friends. My friends, like last week, I want to use all your voices right now as one to raise support for every Canadian across Canada who's suffering right now. Woo! Yeah, we're behind you. Also, let's give another huge burst of energy to the sheriffs. We love and appreciate you guys. They've been standing behind us since the spring, making sure that we stand for our rights and freedom. So thank you, sheriffs. Woo! Also, the EPS, standing behind the people, standing up for our rights and freedoms. Let's give a massive round of energetic applause for the EPS. Woo! EPS! 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 Thank you, guys. From the bottom of our hearts, we know there's so much pressure on you guys. We know the pressure is there, so thank you for standing behind us. All right, my friends, let's invite up Karen. Karen Dixon. Woo! Come on down, Karen.
Josh is going to be absolutely thrilled that I'm within 8 minutes today. Start timing. Hello, everyone. Thank you, warm-hearted friends, for being with us and braving another cold day. To be honest, this has been a rough week. Let's start with Edmonton City Council. I'm getting there. There will be no Valentine's card in the mail for Scott McKean. That's for sure. How dare he call for 100% mask compliance and attack our perfectly peaceful protest? And while we're at it, no bunch of roses for Kenny either. He opened some small businesses with yet more restrictions and made preferential payments to frontline workers who've been employed through this whole pandemic. Not one of them has lost a paycheck. Everyone who had a paycheck, including politicians, got a raise or a bonus. Let's call it what it is. It's a bribe. And those who lost everything got nothing but more restrictions. So much for kindness and compassion from these politicians. You hurt the ones who are already hurting the most. I don't do well with shouting. That's Josh and David's territory. On a personal note, in the last week, we've lost 2 close friends and a much-loved family member who died suddenly in hospital in England. This has left our family reeling and is made more challenging because of so many COVID restrictions. Please, insist on an advocate if you or someone you love is taken to hospital. I was asked to do that just this week. It took me 7 phone calls and multiple emails before I was given permission to visit another resident in a different care home from my mum. Please actively support and advocate for anyone who needs health care right now. This was always the case before COVID. It is now essential. Last week, Corinne spoke about our children. The crisis is impacting them on an unimaginable scale, both physically and emotionally. Their lives and their futures are quite literally being bartered away by our government in what is a futile battle against a virus. I'm working closely with one Facebook group dedicated to Alberta parents and kids. The group admin posted for parents and children who want to speak out and share their stories. They were due to be here to speak this week. There's a reason why they're not here already. The admin is still working her way through over 500 emails which have already come into her. Parents desperate for help for their children. Stories that are agonizing to read. Doctors are now recommending antidepressants for 10 to 12-year-olds. The wait time for a mental health consult for a child is now months. Attempted suicides are becoming alarmingly normal. This has to end. I'm still coordinating with this group, and they will be here to speak at the legislature. And trust me, there is going to be a crowd of them. They are also going to be involved in an Angry Albertan podcast with Josh. These parents and children have to be heard. A year's silence is a year too long. The feigned concern and false hopes from this government are failing our children. In the meantime, if parents or children need support, please reach out to healthcare professionals, to family, to friends, to groups online, and to us here at the Ledge. You need to know you are not alone. Finally, we're getting calls daily from people asking how they can make a difference. If you're here now in person or online, you are already making a difference. Our feeds and posts are hitting tens of thousands of people each week, worldwide. Please share them everywhere. Dive into the cesspit pit of social media. Drop a post bomb. Duck and cover. Don't bother replying. Josh taught me this. Drop the bomb and go. The point is to post politely in as many places as possible. Go unmasked everywhere you can. Smile. Talk to as many people as you possibly can about anything but COVID. People need to feel comfortable again, seeing a friendly face. Practice in the mirror if you have to before you go out. Trust me, I do it myself. It works. I'm smiling through gritted teeth some days, and I'm probably going to need dentures by the end of this year. Support businesses like Brandy Legacy, our local hairdresser. She spoke today. God love her, for the homeless. Take a trip to the Whistle Stop Cafe. Noble Fox. Karen's Leduc Coffee Shop. Every small business who's open for survival. And remember, Open for Survival also has a Facebook page for business. There are well over 10,000 small businesses right now. There is also a convoy planned to Red Deer for this Monday, a car convoy. Granny Margaret. Granny, can you give us a wave? I don't know where she is. Granny Margaret? There she is, right there. Right there with the huge Albertan flag. Our inimitable Granny Margaret has details. You can find it on John Sampson's Facebook page. And finally, a word of warning. This connects with Josh's speech earlier. Do not subscribe or donate to any group looking for money. Remember, it's not only the government who are looking to gain from this crisis. Anybody asking for money, that should raise a red flag. Check out any group that is looking to part you from your hard-earned cash. It is why here we ask for homemade signs, and not a dime is ever asked for at this event. Everybody who stands up here to speak is here for all Canadians. This is a protest for all Canadians. It is a protest in crisis. It is a protest as a result of the crisis and the response by this government to COVID-19. Thank you to every one of you who is now, because this is now not an Edmonton protest. It is the best support group in this city. And every single one of you here and online is making that happen.
Awesome, Karen. Let's give a massive round of applause for Karen. Woo! That was awesome. Wow. My friends, let's get our voices together again. I got 3 more shout outs to make. First shout out, Alberta Action! Woo! Yeah, Alberta Action! My friends, get on that hot chocolate. Every weekend they've been bringing you guys hot chocolate to keep us warm. Paris brought you guys some beautiful donuts, so go down there, get warm, and fill your stomachs up with that beautiful food. So one more round of applause for Alberta Action! Woo! Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, how about another one? Huge round of applause again to the people online. Woo! Yeah! You guys are awesome. Share, 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 share. Share this link, guys. Please, please share the link. Awesome, guys. And once again, one more round of applause to you guys and the brave Canadians across this country. Woo! Yeah! Freezing for freedom. You guys are awesome. My friends, do we accept the lockdown? No. Louder, do you accept the lockdown? No. Will we be locked down again? No. Let's let them know loud and clear. End the lockdown! End the lockdown! End the lockdown! End the lockdown! All right, guys, let's give a warm welcome to Tiffany. Come on up, Tiffany. Woo!
Thank you. I think this works better this time. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. It's beautiful and balmy. Thank you. You're amazing Canadians, truly. All right. So there are about 37 million people who live in Canada right now. Statistics say that roughly 9 million are either on the fence or disagree with the pandemic and the restrictions that come along with it. As we have all come to realize, this battle is one of numbers, to which, of course, the majority rules. We are the minority. We exist, and we exist for a reason. To shed light onto the unknown, to push people to think beyond their limits, to prove that nothing is infallible, and to show the world a different point of view. While the new abnormal tries to force you to comply, remember, choice is still an available option. And as such, we choose to come here every Saturday as caring, concerned Canadians. Each and every one of us. Through restrictions and lockdowns, hecklers and counter-protesters, sleet and snow, being pushed, persecuted, ridiculed, and shunned. Yet, we still show up. It is important that we keep showing up. These rallies are our testimony to the deception, corruption, and hardships of our time brought forth by this so-called pandemic. Each and every story here that is shared is important and needs to be heard. They are real, true human experiences and the living proof of the atrocities going on around us today. I have been coming to these every weekend since November, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to do so. It's always such a joyful time full of smiling faces, laughter, hugs, music, sometimes always dancing, friendship, but most importantly, the information. So keep going and keep showing up. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. Huge round of applause for Tiffany. Woo! Let's give a massive round of applause to all the speakers who come up and share their stories. Woo! Thank you, guys. It's not easy to do. Awesome. Thank you so very much. Okay, I want to do one more massive burst of energy for our marshals for keeping us safe every march. Woo! Thank you, marshals. All right, guys, we got 2 more speeches, and then we're going to go march. Do you guys want to march? Do you want to show Canada that freedom is alive and well? Awesome, guys. All right, let's welcome up Brent. Come on down, Brent. Woo! Huge round of applause for Brent. Yeah, Brent. Come on down. Yeah. Brent.
You guys are awesome. So awesome. Today I'm going to actually read from something I prepared. So bear with me, because the old guy has to put his glasses on and finish his donut. Like, who brings the donuts and the hot chocolate? Like, this is amazing, man. And once again, like, wow, like, as cold as it is and everyone's showing up, thank you. We've seen a lot over this period of time that we've been having these rallies here. I've gotten to know a lot of you, and thank you very much. You know, it's kind of a mutual thing in terms of the support. The last couple weeks has been pretty tough on some of us. So I'm going to get through this, but bear with me, okay? Because there are all sorts of groups out there that, no, this is our country. And I've told you before what my father fought for in the generation that he had, and I am going to do everything that I can in my powers to keep this country free. Freedom is the power of right to act, speak or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Freedom is the absence of subjection to foreign domination or a despotic government. Here's one, let this sink in for a while, okay, folks? Freedom is the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. Freedom is the right for us to be ourselves. Freedom is a fragile thing, and it is never more than one generation away from extinction. Yes, folks, extinction. Freedom is not ours by way of inheritance, for true freedom must be fought for and defended constantly by each generation. And this is us, folks. For it comes only once to people, and if lost, only revolution and extreme sacrifice has ever been able to gain it back. So we better fight for it now. We are in a period of world history where there is a battle for freedom versus global tyranny. Millions have taken to the streets in Europe. Many of us know friends over there. Denmark, I was there a few years ago. I mean, amazingly peaceful people. And they've risen up. France, Italy, to name but a few. Even in Moscow, of all places. They're rising up. Putin himself is kicking out COVID. And wow, what we've heard about Italy, eh? 50,000 restaurants opening up? Like, whoa. But then again, the Italians know how to deal with their tyrannical leaders. I believe it is called being Mussolini'd. And that's no joke, folks, because if this gets bad, those are the people that are going to make a difference. This is a battle between the light and the ever-increasing darkness. As some would say, good versus evil. It has been said that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. And this is a call out to government workers. Last week I mentioned, for those of you that were here, about a book about the Nazi era. It's called Hitler's Bureaucrats, the Nazi Security Police and the Banality of Evil, written by Yakov Lozovic. You should look into it. It is an excellent exploration on the actions, the dynamics, and the moral choices of desktop murderers, of which Hitler had. It's the bureaucrats, the government policymakers, the enforcers of government dogma and tyranny. For how could this global evil pyramid scheme, and it is a pyramid scheme, be rolled out without the collusion of governments and their bureaucrats, their obeying minions, at all levels of government, from the federal to provincial or state to the local and municipal levels? All complying bureaucrats rolling out the policies and the enforcement of their government leaders. Even the fear-mongering of the scam that the globalists and, yes, the eugenicists are rolling out against humanity, the New World Order, the Great Reset. They were once conspiracy theories for to be laughed at. Not so funny anymore, is it, folks? I've run out of conspiracy theories as they have all come true. I wake up every day as if it's a Groundhog Day in what has become another episode of Clown World. And yes, to my shock, even Clown World has a definition. It is a world where people have no idea who they are, where right is left and left is right, where up is down and down is up, where schools teach propaganda instead of classes, where mainstream and social media suppress truth and debate, if it doesn't follow the ordained dogma and fear narrative of the propaganda machine. Oh, the fact checkers. They didn't exist till truth started to be exposed, did it? Oh, the paid minions and bureaucrats rolling out the agenda of 2021 and 2030. Like I said, the infamous pyramid scheme. Everyone is playing their part, paid to do a job, but a note of warning, there will come a judgment day. And as millions wake up across the world, that day of awakening and judgment is coming. And for those of history, the Nuremberg trials after the Second World War proved out that I was only following orders or I was just doing my job is not a viable defense. Yes, Judgment Day is coming. As a bureaucrat just doing your job, what side of history do you wish to stand on when you look into the eyes of your grandchildren? And what will you say? When this is all over, what do you wish to be remembered for? Because if you are hoping to keep your head down and just blindly obey writing those policies that are destroying society and humanity at the whim of the puppet masters, the unseen ones at the top of the pyramid, if you think that somehow you will escape the tyranny, you won't. Because you are complicit in it and are no more than a pawn, a complying minion. When humanity rises up and realizes how deep and evil the lies go, there will be no place to hide. No excuse that you were just doing your job will tame the anger of the people. People are dying in care homes because of your policies. Children are suffering and committing suicide because of your policies. People are dying from lack of diagnosis and treatment because of your policies. People are losing their businesses, their livelihoods because of your policies. Our very way of life is being destroyed because of the policies you are writing and enforcing, because of your own masters that you blindly are following for a paycheck. Remember, just doing your job is not a defense, and the people are awakening and are not happy with those that are destroying our way of life and creating more harm than solutions. The pyramid scheme is but a house of cards, and you are being played and have become complicit with evil. Who remembers the Ontario top health officers back in December with their hot mic comments, where they were overheard saying, "I don't know why I bring all these papers." Like, really? It's kind of like, Henshaw and Kenny when they, bring the masks and do all that. I don't know. This is just getting ridiculous, folks. She basically said she never looks at them, and then after talking about the COVID numbers in Ontario, they are overheard saying, "Did she really say that?" Then they laugh and are overheard saying, "I just say whatever they write down for me." These are the bureaucrats I've been talking about. Just like here in Alberta, like when our own premier says, "Who cares about cases?" Really? Good one. Ding! Well, I don't know about you, but here in Alberta, when our premier says that, these overinflated false case counts would seem to be the effing thing that this problem is all about. These moments of truth that slip out should be waking people up as to how much of a scam this is. And the bureaucrats, the government employees are complicit in the scam. The pyramid scheme of deceit, and there is no excuse, for by remaining silent, you are as guilty for those deaths that because of those threatening you and paying you to keep your silence. Do the right thing. Come forward like so many others are. It is because of your silence and the corruption that this charade continues. It is what you do right now that makes a difference. Sometimes the right path is not the easiest one. And now I'm going to say something from Braveheart. And thank you for bearing with me as I read this.
Thank you, Brent.
Because those children that are committing suicide because of some bureaucrat's policies, I can't tell you how many tears I shed this week once I heard about all this. And shame. Pure shame on anyone that is doing this. It is pitiful. So in my good Scottish tone, And that would be my good British friend, David. I fight, and you may die. Run, and you'll live, at least for a while. And dying in your bed silent, many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance? Just one chance to come back here now, and tell our enemies, and they are our enemies, this is literally a war that's being fought all across the world. And to tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never, ever take our freedom. So I'm saying to all of us, do the right thing. Are you hanging from the cross or banging in the nails? Because that's what this all comes down to. It is for you to decide what side of history you will reside on. For I and others are fighting for freedom. For all of us, including those being silenced. Wake up. Rise up. This is our right. Thank you, everyone. I can't thank you enough for rising up against the tyranny that this is all about. This has been a pyramid scheme from a silent few at the top, and we are now just waking up as to how corrupt and evil it is. This isn't about a flu that has been weaponized against us. It is about the tyranny and the years of planning that have gone into it. And for those of us that have woken up to it, God bless you all, and we are going to fight this thing all the way through.
Right on, Brent. Let's give a massive round of applause for Brent. Woo! Yes, that's right. My friends, do you want to send a message to Jason Kenney right now? Do you want to send it loud and clear? Let's do it. Jason Kenney, our rights are not up for grabs. There is no debate. Our rights are not up for grabs. There is no debate. Our rights are not up for grabs. There is no debate. My friends, do you love your rights? Do you love freedom? Do you accept the lockdowns? Will you ever accept the lockdowns? Let's let Jason Kenney know again. End the lockdown! End the lockdown! End the lockdown! End the lockdown! My friends, our government has failed us. Do you agree? My friends, our media has failed us. Do you agree? Do you agree that we need to celebrate independent, truthful media? I think so too, my friends. There is one joining us today, Doug Brinkman. Check out Doug Brinkman on YouTube. This man has been unbiasedly showing our protests and other protests over the years. He is true independent media, truthfully reporting the truth. Let's give a round of applause to actual media and journalism. Thank you, sir. We love you, Doug. Thank you, my friend. Freedom! 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 All right, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, one more speech and we're going to march. So let's get our marshals over to the side with Brent again and we'll start getting organized. Until then, let's invite up the great David Dixon. Come on down, David. All right, David. Woo! You taller? We got you.
Don't. Let's start it off as normal. Testing, COVID-19, COVID-19. Sad week for me this week. Wearing my black tie again. But it brought up a number of things I've actually been lucky through this insanity. I still get out here every week. I don't wear a mask. I can't wear a mask. I've hugged more people in the last year than I've hugged in the whole of my life. I'm probably going to need therapy at the end of this for that. I'm going to get arrested at some point for just walking up to someone in the street and hugging them. Well, yeah, this week highlighted again a lot of things that are going on. I follow not just Alberta. For 14 months now, I've been watching what's happening in the world. And everything that happens here, and everything that everybody thinks they're dealing with something unique, it's wash and repeat in every other country. Now, Jason Kenney, you couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery inside your government. So how in the hell is it that every single government is all working from the same game plan? Want to know if that's true? Just watch the video that I posted of Matt Hancock. If you actually changed his voice to a little squeaky one and made him speak moistly, you would have swore it was Justin Trudeau. The exact same policy in that tiny little island, implemented at the exact same time as here, even down to the cost, the tests and everything. Even down to the admission that while we're all chasing the ball of the PCR test, which they've admitted is a complete and utter total pile of bullshit and always was, so why are we not investigating that EPS? Why are we not investigating that, the RCMP? They have admitted to you the test is flawed. And guess what? They always knew. But they admitted something else this week. And then Matt Hancock, in his speech, admitted the same thing. They are doing genetic testing on every PCR sample. Did you sign up for that? No! I used the term last week, do you consent, about medical experiments. And the common law people out there started sending me emails. Oh, you're using our term. No, that's a completely different thing, and I'm not going to go down the... Josh has already covered some of the stuff that's going on right now. Right now, there is a way to get out of this. You're all part of that, but there's another group of people that need to be part of that. That's Brad's colleagues who've started to reach out to him. Yes, Kenny, the army are reaching out to us. That includes the police here in Alberta. Kenny, they're reaching out to me. It is time for you to step down. It is time for Dina Hinshaw to be arrested. It is time for Justice Catherine Fraser to actually take one of these orders and read the opening paragraphs and ask for that evidence. Every single person who goes into court right now, the funny thing is, EPS's parking tickets, speeding tickets, they're all at the front of the queue, and the courts are dealing with them. But these tickets that are supposed to be saving people's lives, these tickets for the Public Health Act, how many of them have gone to court? You need two fingers to count, because it's a big fat zero. Why are the tickets for speeders getting priority over the tickets that are supposed to be the reason we shut down society? And more importantly, why are EPS not asking that question? Chief of Police or Chief of the Government Lackeys, every single Chief of Police in this province needs to get off their backside, get with Catherine Fraser and go to the government and demand the evidence. You say this is the most dangerous virus on the planet. Then we should all be under martial law. We should all be locked up and nobody should be out. The armed forces should be out. Brad's colleagues should be out in level 4 biohazard suits, and anybody, including a politician who leaves their house and breaks quarantine, should be shot on sight. There's a reason that isn't happening. It's because all-cause mortality is lower than it's ever been. And that's when you include all the avoidable deaths, all the suicides, all the stuff you've just heard about today, the way we're treating the homeless, the way they're treating people in care homes. Our deaths, if we had a pandemic, our deaths should have doubled this year when you add all the avoidable deaths we've got. And yet they're not. If it wasn't for all the suicides and untreated cancer and heart attacks like Jerry Dunham from a lack of treatment, if it wasn't for them, this wouldn't even be a notable year for flu. So you tell us that this is the most dangerous virus in the planet. You tell us we have to give up all our rights, all our freedoms, that we have to drive ourselves to suicide. That's how dangerous it is. And you send, every one of you chiefs, you send your officers in harm's way to issue a ticket, and then the people in that building do nothing with it. Is this dangerous or not? Dina Hinshaw, every single order, you write the same thing. And as you write it, but you change the conditions, it means you have new evidence. Where is that evidence? I said last week, before another police officer issues a ticket, if you haven't read the orders, if you haven't asked where the evidence is, then you are committing a crime. Stop following unlawful orders. Your colleagues are contacting me and are disgusted. It is time for you to ask your supervisors to answer some questions. Now, you might want to know why I didn't say superiors. Because in the police, rank is supervisory, not superior. And the more we see of these stupid decisions without any backing of evidence whatsoever, the less superior these officers are showing themselves to be. At least we've got some officers here who understand their duty, who understand the rights of the people, who have protected us for a year. Calgary, listen to your colleagues. RCMP, listen to your colleagues. They are talking to me. You need to start doing your job. Otherwise, that uniform is no better than a meter maid's. If all you're going to do is issue a ticket and then walk away, you are a disgrace. I don't care anymore that you're doing what you're told to do and you don't have any choice. At what point are you going to say, it's my time to stand up? Are you going to wait till they haul away your kids? Your mother? Are you going to wait until they haul one of your colleagues away because they can't wear a mask because they were injured on duty? That's where I am. If I was serving right now, would you watch while they hauled me away and told me I didn't have a job anymore because I can't wear a mask? Well, the funny thing is, not wearing a mask and being unable to wear a mask puts me at the highest risk on the planet. I should be dead in the middle of an ILI pandemic. And yet, here I am, being a pain in the arse every single week. Every single one of you out there, all of my colleagues, all the armed forces, it is time to stand up. It is time to hold your supervisors to account. It is time for them to explain to you. It is time for all the judges to ask, why am I writing these orders when nobody is applying them? I don't want Chris from the whistle stop to be arrested, mainly because everybody's going for a burger on Monday. But the question is, AHS, why did you waste a judge's time demanding an emergency order? Why did you issue him tickets demanding he close for the safety of everyone? And yet the RCMP keeps going down there and taking notes. Is this dangerous or not? If it's dangerous, you are negligent. But guess what? You know better. In your heart, you know better. So you need to do your duty and do your job. One last shout out for Costco. Thanks for the letter this week. It's going to be a fun couple of months, 60 days, and we get an answer from the Alberta Human Rights Commission. Oh, and Josh, the angry Albertan, has got a new fan, the legal team from Costco. They watched. So you make a human rights complaint as a retired disabled police officer, and Costco's corporation puts all their might and effort as a legal team to do what we call in the legal world an ad hominem attack. So hang on. The way you actually answer a human rights complaint is to attack disabled people? Costco? Really? Nice one. 25 years I've been going there. Yeah, that really was low. But keep looking. We need the fans. If you could make sure you click the like button next time you visit the page. Oh, and Kenny Hinshaw. Apparently, Costco believe you are grossly negligent, causing death for allowing exemptions. Costco's response is there should be no exemptions whatsoever. So hang on a minute. The Alberta government and Dina Hinshaw believes there should be exemptions because it's not that dangerous. The city of Edmonton believes there should be exemptions that everybody else follows except them. You can't get on a transit bus. Because who wrote the exemptions? Oh, the same people who say you can't get on the transit bus. Yeah. Well, you heard my wife talking about all the councillors. You're starting to develop a level of intelligence there that a few years ago would have got you sectioned. And you should be getting worried right now, because under the new regulations, they only need one doctor to declare you incompetent. They don't need two. And at some point, it is time we started declaring the people who are pushing this insanity as incompetent. If the doctors really want to do something, start writing the incompetence notes on the people who are pushing this insanity. Ask yourselves in these hospitals, go and look at the charts. How many are really in hospital right now? Then have a look at a year before and the year before. In fact, look for the last 5 years in Alberta. It's never been lower. In fact, it was really never lower as of the end of January. COVID patients are almost non-existent in the hospitals right now, and yet we're still in a state of emergency. How is that? Again, Dina Hinshaw, maybe you should read the top of the orders you keep signing. It's not the government that signs them, you do, personally. Got your name on it. Says you've got all the evidence. Well, show me the evidence! Okay, I'm probably going to get the 20-minute warning any time now. Actually, my chest's getting sore. Did I mention I've got a disability? Actually, this has kept me going. All of you people, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. I said, so it's your fault. Dina Hinshaw, it's their fault. Yeah. Anyway, everybody keep doing what you're doing. Smiling, push back. We have found out this week that pushing back actually gets you somewhere. Even the RCMP and Alberta Health Services, who say, can't come into the hospital unless you're wearing a mask. Well, guess what? If you've got an exemption, push back. I've heard twice this week of people that have been authorised that exemption. So they can go into a hospital without a mask on. Hang on a minute, where are these level 4 biohazard suits? Brad, can you have a word with Dina Hinshaw and tell her what the protocol is for the most dangerous pandemic on the planet? Because we seem to have forgot a few things. Anyway, time to go for a walk. Everybody looks cold. I'm not walking. I'm disabled. But I will drive round and stalk you in the van. Hey, where's Rickshaw Dave? I want to know if I need to avoid him while he obstructs traffic and drives without due care and attention. EPS. Those tickets are actually getting heard in the court pretty quick, so I'm assuming we'll see him up soon. You've got all the video evidence. If you want a complainant, he was in front of me while I was driving. I'll give you a statement. We've got the video evidence of him riding the vehicle on a main road with a camera. How about doing your actual job and saving people's lives? And on the other side, for all of those at EPS and the RCMP that have reached out, all those retired officers that have reached out, and all of the sheriffs and EPS that protect us every single week, and actually protect you more than just when you're here. Their job is to protect you every single day of the week. That was what I swore an oath to do, and even out of uniform, that is what I will still do. That's why, as much as I can, I'm a little fat disabled guy now, so there's a limit. But they're there helping us. They're in a hard position because their supervisors have lost their minds and are doing the bidding of the government. So until they can actually get some support from their supervisors and get together, which is going to happen soon. Kenny, said before, Your time is up. Shandro, Hinshaw, what's the name of that idiot who puts his mask over his glasses, who's controlling the rollout of the vaccine? No wonder we've got no vaccinations going on in Alberta. He can't even wear a mask. Anyway, I'm glad that's the case because it's not a vaccine. Look at the definition. And actually go and look, I posted this week some of the death certificate numbers from post-vaccines. Funnily enough, if you die of COVID, if you die having tested positive for COVID within 28 days, even if you decided to jump out of a plane and forgot to pull the parachute, you died of COVID. If you die 15 minutes after getting a vaccine, yeah, you died of something else. Any one of you doctors out there who thinks that makes any sense, yeah, Werner's got a room up in building 3 for you, but you can't have the window because Josh and I are fighting over that one. Anyway, time to go. Have a hot chocolate before you go and a donut. And again, say thanks to Action Alberta. I only have to be told once. and you know what? Nobody ever really says it. But how about a round of applause for the man who gets cut out of every video every week? The man who makes it easy for every single one of us. Kyle, go on up.
Yeah! You guys are too kind. It's you guys that are awesome. You guys are way too kind. My friends, do you accept the new abnormal? Louder, do you accept the new abnormal? Will we ever accept the new abnormal? Let's let Jason Kenney know loud and clear. No new normal! No new normal! No new normal! No new normal! All right, guys, can I gather your voices one more time? Let's make this the loudest one yet. Let's give a mass round of applause to every single Canadian across this country and the world standing up for freedom. Woo! We love you guys. Thank you so much. All right, guys, let's show our support again for every person suffering from isolation. We are here for you. We stand behind you. Woo! Yeah! All right, guys, another one for our marshals. Woo! Thank you, marshals, for keeping us safe. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Once again, guys, one more for the people on the online protest. Thank you for joining us every Saturday. Thank you, guys. We love you guys. Share this message. Share, 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 share. Please, guys, get this message out to everybody. Okay, guys, 2 more. One now for the EPS, the sheriffs, and the military standing behind the good people of Canada. Woo! We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, guys. And obviously, the loudest one for you guys, freezing for freedom every single weekend. Thank you, guys. Woo! All right, guys, we're about to start marching here. We need 2 more marshals, guys. We need 2 marshals for today. So, like always, we like our marshals to understand our protest, so preferably people who've been around the protest for an extended period of time. So 2 marshals, guys. Please go over and see Brent. Okay, like usual, guys, we're going to become more efficient every single time. So let's keep it peaceful. We know people like to flip us the odd little birdie. That's okay. We say thank you. We support you. We will fight for you and your family. Where you support all Canadians, no matter what. Awesome. And that's right. It's only a matter of time, my friends, before they realize that this government has failed them. So we'll go out there, we'll keep it peaceful, keep it loving, guys. Let's follow the marshals, let's defer to them. They will tell us when to cross. They will watch the ice for us. Like always, guys, if you guys see suspicious activity, tell the marshals. Let me know. Let Josh know. We'll be watching out for everybody. Okay, guys? So let's go have an awesome march today. Let's do another massive round of applause for Alberta Action. Thank you for the hot chocolate, guys. Woo! And for Paris, thank you for bringing donuts. Yes. I thought there's donuts left too, guys. Get over there and get some hot chocolate and some donuts while you can before the march, guys. Clean it up. Okay, guys, thank you guys for coming out again. One more round of applause for you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, guys. Let's go out there and have a good march, guys. Do you want to march? Do you want to show Canada freedom exists? All right, guys. Go ahead and mingle. Have that hot chocolate.